Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into a really wholesome and funny rom-com moment between two childhood friends who doesn't know the meaning of personal distance. So the scene opens with a girl checking her phone. It's about 9:40 at night and she realizes that it's gotten pretty late. Meanwhile, we cut to the guy Akane. He's sitting in his room looking pretty bored with his phone. He's thinking about how another totally unremarkable day is passing by, just the usual routine of going to school, doing homework, and chilling in his room at night. But suddenly, that peace is broken. The narration box hilariously announces that his trash-tier friend is barging in. We see the girl Akane leaping into the frame, and she is clutching a math book, so we all know exactly what she wants. We get a little flashback here to explain the situation. Aoi is on the phone with a friend who says he's going to hang up because the math teacher is scary. This friend then teases Aoi, asking when he and Akane are finally getting married. Aoi insists that they are just childhood friends, but the friend points out that the distance between them is definitely not just normal friendship distance. While they are talking, we can see Akane literally walking across the roof outside Aoi's window. Back in the present, Akane crashes through the window and lands right on top of Aoi. She yells that she's arrived and immediately demands that he let her copy his homework. Poor Aoi just lets out a pained groan as he gets crushed. Akane then introduces herself to us, explaining that she is Aoi's childhood friend. We then get some really cute backstory. The narration reveals that Akane and Aoi were actually born on the exact same day at the exact same time. It goes even further than that. They are next-door neighbors, and on top of that, they've been in the same class together ever since kindergarten. We see a cute flashback of them walking together as little kids, with Aoi warning her not to fall. Back in the room, Akane pauses for a second, looking a little thoughtful. But then she immediately dives under the furniture, shouting that she found the homework she was looking for. She looks at the notebook and comments that Aoi actually did the work, calling him stupidly diligent. Aoi tells her to stop trying to copy it word for word, jokingly warning her that the last guy who did that got murdered. He calls her stupidly lazy, hearing that Akane changes her mind and just asks him to teach her instead. Now this is where the distance between them really shows. We see Akane sitting comfortably on Aoi's lap while he helps her study. Aoi suggests that if she isn't sitting high enough, she should go grab a cushion. Akane makes a sarcastic excuse, asking if it wouldn't be dangerous to jump across the roofs while carrying a huge cushion. Aoi logically points out that she should just use the front door instead of the window. Suddenly, Aoi notices something. He tells her not to sit cross-legged while she's on someone's lap. Akane tells him to shut up and confidently claims that there isn't a cushion in the entire world that wouldn't be happy to have her sit on it. Aoi sniffs the air and mentions that she smells nice for some reason. Akane smiles and explains that a classmate named Mika-chan put some perfume on her earlier. Aoi stares blankly. He thinks to himself that putting perfume on Akane is like casting pearls before swine, basically saying it's a total waste on someone like her. Then Aoi is seen staring at Akane's chest. He decides to tease her and bluntly asks her if she is one of those people who belongs to the tribe that wears perfume but doesn't bother wearing a bra. Akane immediately corrects him, clarifying that she is in fact wearing one. But then Akane completely misinterprets his teasing. She gets defensive and starts yelling, asking who exactly he is calling a member of the flat-chested tribe. Aoi calmly tells her that he didn't say that at all. While she's shouting, he casually counts down, noting that 5 seconds have passed. Suddenly, Akane leans in and kisses him right on the cheek while he's still holding his pen. Aoi is totally confused and asks what that was all about. Akane explains that there is a rule: if they make eye contact for 5 seconds, they have to kiss. She says it's a rule they made all the way back in kindergarten. Just then the door opens and Aoi's mom walks in on them. She greets Akane casually and mentions that the bath is free now. Then with zero hesitation, the mom suggests that Akane should just hop in the bath along with Aoi. Akane happily waves back, totally unfazed by the suggestion. We see the mom drying her hair in the hallway, thinking to herself. She admits that even though they are her kids, that completely broken sense of distance between them is actually kind of scary. Cut to the bathroom entrance and things get even bolder. As they are undressing, Akane stares right at Aoi and wonders aloud if it has grown even a little bit. Aoi, understandably awkward, tells her to stop staring at him like that. Inside the bath area, Akane is washing her hair and justifies this whole situation by saying that they usually take baths together anyway, claiming they are basically like siblings. Aoi questions that logic, muttering siblings, huh, and asks who exactly the older sister is supposed to be, implying she's way too childish. Then Akane turns and asks a genuinely shocked question. She asks if it's true that actual real-life siblings don't bathe together. Aoi turns away, sweating nervously, and lies that he's never heard of such a thing, acting completely shocked that she would think that. The topic then shifts to something else. Akane asks Aoi if he knows the rumor that massaging your chest makes it get bigger. Aoi admits that he has heard that one before. Akane continues, revealing that their classmate Mikan says she does it every day, and that's why hers are huge. Aoi awkwardly asks if that is really information she should be disclosing, but suddenly Aoi notices something. Akane starts demonstrating right there in the water, saying she's been doing it lately too. She confidently asks him if they look bigger than before. Aoi stares at her, but in his mind he just sees the image of Akane in the past, looking exactly the same as she does now. He lets out a small breath and gives her a soft, pitying look. Akane immediately realizes what he's thinking and yells at him to stop giving her that gentle smile, because she knows it means he thinks absolutely no progress has been made. Akane yells out, asking if the reason for her problem is that she isn't massaging them enough. Aoi shouts back that she does it plenty and claims that they are aiming for F-cups together. But Akane isn't having it and screams that she is actually going for G-cups. After all that shouting, we cut to the bedroom. Akane is drying her hair and complaining that now that she's had a bath, she's become super sleepy. Without wasting a second, she dives face first onto the bed and demands that Aoi do her homework for her. Aoi looks at her with total disbelief. He tells her to stop screwing around and asks who in their right world would ever agree to do that. But of course, the very next panel reveals the truth. We see Aoi sitting at the desk, diligently doing the work while Akane rests her feet on his back. Aoi thinks to himself that Hei's gonna write down the wrong answers on purpose just to be petty, but the arrow points out that Hei's doing the work anyway. Later on, Akane is lying comfortably in the bed while Aoi is exhausted. She rudely squishes his face with her hand and tells him that since she is finished, he should go home or sleep on the floor. Aoi, who is clearly too tired to argue, just tells her to at least scoot over a bit, because Hei's tired too. The two of them end up sleeping side by side. Akane seems to be deep asleep, drooling a little, but then she suddenly cracks one eye open and whispers that 5 seconds have passed. Aoi leans in close, trying to remind her that the rule she's talking about was just a silly thing from kindergarten. But before he can finish his sentence, he collapses right onto her. It looks like a kiss at first, but Akane starts panicking and yelling muffled screams because he actually just fell asleep directly on her face and is suffocating her. We jump to another evening and the routine continues. Akane climbs through the window again, asking to copy his homework. This time, Aoi is actually waiting for her and shouts her name, which makes Akane pause and wonder if she's actually getting a warm welcome for once. But then, Aoi suddenly pulls her into a tight hug. He tells her with a serious face that he has a favor to ask. Akane, being incredibly loyal, immediately agrees and asks what she needs to do, even teasing him by asking if he doesn't want to hear her answer first. She looks him in the eye and asks if there has ever been a time where she didn't listen to her childhood friend's requests. Aoi bluntly replies that she normally doesn't listen, but admits that her words are reassuring right now. Akane takes the moment a bit too far and offers to give him the underwear she is wearing right now. Aoi completely kills the mood by revealing that for some reason there are already about 10 pairs of her underwear scattered around his room, and he begs her to just take them home. Finally, we see what Aoi was so worked up about. On the TV screen is a scary movie called The Girl of the Whispering Woods. Aoi nervously asks if she knows about it. Akane says she does. It's a popular horror movie right now and she saw it last week. Aoi starts shaking and explains his dilemma. He says the whole class is buzzing about it, and if he admits he hasn't seen it, he'll be looked down on as a chicken boy. Akane teases him, pointing out that He's just bad with horror stuff. But then she gives him an out. She smiles and lies, saying that she's scared to watch it alone, so she asks him to please watch it, with her cheekily calling him Chicken Boy anyway. The movie starts with showing two characters discussing the rumors of the woods as our duo settles in to watch. One of them asks what they will see it if they go to those woods. His friend retorts that it's just rumors. The movie begins, and Aoi is already trembling. Akane tries to calm him down, telling him that it's still the beginning and there aren't even any scary scenes yet. But Aoi is beyond reason. He insists that even the everyday scenes have an unsettling feeling and that it's already terrifying him. Then Akane reveals the truth with a smug smile. She admits that she has actually already seen the movie. She tells him that watching his scared face is way more fun than the movie itself. Aoi looks at her in disbelief, realizing he's been played. Suddenly a scream comes from the TV as a character asks, "Where are you?" Aoi completely loses it and screams "GYAAA" at the top of his lungs. Akane just watches him calmly and sarcastically comments that he is really hilarious. Finally, the movie ends. Aoi is lying on Akane's lap, drenched in sweat and panting, relieved that it is finally finished. Akane starts reciting the movie's narration, perfectly describing the shadows of two boys and the murmuring river. She asks Aoi if he actually remembers the story since he was freaking out until the very end. Aoi, still recovering, just thinks that she remembers the details way too well. Later that night, the fear hasn't faded. Aoi grips Akane's hand and begs her to sleep with him, because he's too scared to be alone. Akane looks at his terrified face and thinks to herself that she's actually starting to feel sorry for him. She starts patting his head, gently reassuring him over and over that it's not scary. She tells him to come sleep on her chest. Aoi immediately snuggles in tight, and they fall asleep together. But a little later, Aoi wakes her up. He tells her that the bathroom is too scary and asks her to go with him. Akane blushes, thinking to herself how cute he is for saying things like that. She decides to take advantage of the situation. She lies back down and claims that she is so sleepy she can't get any strength in her arms or legs, demanding that he carry her there. Aoi just sighs and agrees. Aoi picks her up in his arms. He admits that he feels anxious if she isn't in his sight. Akane is secretly delighted, noting that it's a princess carry rather than a piggyback ride. They get to the bathroom door and Aoi asks if they should go inside together. Akane stares at him for a moment. Then she asks if they should just head back to the room, and Aoi apologizes for causing trouble. But then Akane fidgets and admits that she actually needs to pee too. Standing at the door, Aoi asks if he should wait outside. Akane, looking nervous and sweating, tells him it's fine and to just stay right there, but she frantically tells him to give her 30 seconds, or rather 1 minute. We see Akane sitting on the toilet with Aoi standing right there in the bathroom with her. She complains that doing this in total silence is a bit awkward and demands that he make some witty conversation to distract her. Aoi decides to start telling a scary story to pass the time. He explains that this is apparently a true story that happened at a friend's elementary school, involving the famous Hanako-san of the toilet. He starts describing the ritual of closing the door and asking to play, but suddenly he screams out a terrified scream. Akane becomes confused with his scream. Aoi starts explaining the punchline. He says the twist is that you think Hanako-san is at school, but she actually appears in your toilet at home. Akane yells at him not to tell the punchline first, but he ignores her, admits that he just imagined the ghost being right on the other side of the door. He starts grabbing his head, panicking that all the horror stories he has ever heard or seen are flashing back in his mind infinitely. He desperately asks if there is any story that can distract him. Akane, standing with her pants still down, says that she is finished. Akane decides to share a story she saw on the internet to change the mood. She talks about a friend with a sixth sense who visited a woman's house. The story continues with the friend warning the woman not to get too close to a specific gap behind the closet. The woman got scared and looked up countermeasures on her smartphone, and the recommended solution was something called a boob exorcism. Akane decides to demonstrate this exorcism right there in the bathroom. She pulls her shirt up and flashes her chest, shouting for the evil spirits to be gone. Aoi asks how the story ended. Akane replies that the next time the friend came over, the ghost was gone. Hearing this, All Eye genuinely wonders if that method would be effective with guy boobs too. Deciding to give it a try, Aoi aggressively rips off his shirt. He shouts that ghosts don't even exist in the first place, trying to hype himself up. Akane watches him from the floor and comments that he is being seriously hilarious today. Akane then suggests that he should take off his bottoms too, asking if that wouldn't be better than nothing. Aoi stands there shirtless seriously, considering if it will work. Aoi actually goes through with it, and steps out of the bathroom completely naked. Akane peeks out from behind him, watching him march forward. The two of them walk down the hall and up the stairs in a strange naked parade, with Aoi leading the way, and Akane following closely behind in her hoodie. Back in the safety of the bedroom, Aoi is lying down looking exhausted. He sighs, realizing that he is fully awake now, and wonders if he'll ever be able to get back to sleep. Akane climbs on top of him and offers a weird solution. She tells him to suck on her finger to distract himself. Aoi, looking completely defeated, just tells her to do whatever she wants with him already. She puts her finger in his mouth, but Aoi suddenly freezes. He starts panicking and screaming, demanding to know if she washed her hands after using the toilet. It is a bright morning with the sun shining into the bedroom, and Aoi calls out to Akane, letting her know that the day has started. Akane is seen tightly hugging a stuffed doll. Aoi tries to get her up, reminding her that she was the one who called him yesterday, specifically asking him to wake her up. He looks annoyed, thinking to himself that she's taking his stuffed bunny Charlotte Chan hostage by hugging it so tight. Akane mumbles in her sleep, clinging to him and complaining that she's still sleepy. Aoi realizes pretty quickly that she has absolutely zero intention of actually waking up. He warns her that if she doesn't change quickly, she's going to be late for school. But then he pauses, noticing that her clothes are already laid out and prepared next to her. He spots a letter and wonders what it is. It turns out to be a note from Akane. It says that if he is reading this, she must be in the middle of a dream. She cheekily writes that he can go ahead, put her uniform on her, and take her to school. Also adding that changing her clothes is like a difficult puzzle, so maybe it's impossible for him. Aoi scoffs, thinking he would never fall for such a cheap provocation. But then he sees step 1 written on the next page and immediately gets curious. He starts following the instructions, muttering, "Let's see first," as he pulls off her pajama hoodie according to the guide. Next, he gets to the underwear section. The note instructs him to put the breast meat into the cups when putting on the bra. Aoi ruthlessly roasts her in his mind, asking himself where this so-called meat is even supposed to be. He continues to dress her, following the instruction to quietly put on the top so he doesn't wake her up. But honestly, he finds himself wondering what on earth would actually wake her up, given how heavy a sleeper she is. The instructions get even weirder. They tell him to place the F1 parts over the leg parts, referring to the socks. Aoi asks out loud if she is some kind of plastic model kit. Finally, he finishes the job and declares complete satisfied with his perfect result. He admits defeat, realizing that he ended up changing her clothes after all. He thinks that if there is an instruction manual right in front of him, of course he is going to want to do it. He screams out that he ended up getting provoked by a simple letter. Meanwhile, the narrator adds that he is actually doing a pretty good job. Just then, Akane's mom peeks through the doorway and calls out to him. She cheerfully notes that Akane is awake. Well, not really, but at least she is fully wearing her uniform now. She immediately hands Aoi a school bag and tells him to just take her along exactly like that. Aoi lets out a confused sound as he accepts the bag. So Aoi ends up lugging Akane over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. He sighs, complaining to himself. Her mother says that since she is a girl, carrying her like a heavy sandbag looks pretty uncool. The scene shifts to the seaside, and Aoi has switched to a romantic princess carry. He thinks to herself about how good the sea breeze feels, and notes that she is making him carry both her and the two bags while she relaxes. Aoi is annoyed and thinks to himself that she should just throw her into the sea. Suddenly, their friend Hayato walks up and greets Aoi. He takes one look at the couple and deadpans that they should just get married already. Then another friend, Mikan, shows up blushing. She comments on how bold it is to have a princess carry Commute to school. Aoi tries to explain, stuttering, that they are just childhood friends. Nothing more. Aoi notices that Akane reacted immediately to Mikan's voice. He is shocked that she woke up so easily for her friend. Just like that, Akane is back on her feet, cheerfully exchanging good mornings with McKean, as if nothing happened. McCann observes Akane for a second, sensing something is different about her today. She compliments Akane, telling her that her uniform looks really sharp. Akane asks if she really thinks so. Meanwhile, Oe is standing there looking incredibly proud of himself, since he was the one who dressed her. McCain-chan notices his smug expression and asks him why he looks so proud. McCain-chan laughs, saying it's the same as always, but her movement causes a massive bounce. Akane greets her, but Akane stares directly at McCann's chest. She huffs and tells McCann that she doesn't need to greet her chest. Hayato coughs awkwardly. Akane turns her to Aoi, screaming and asking whose boobs are not even worth a greeting. Aoi tries to defend himself, saying he never said that, but Akane demands that he greet them right now. She leans in, aggressively getting right in his face, and challenges him by asking if her chest is worth a greeting. Aoi gulps. Defeated, Aoi bows his head toward her chest and says, "Good morning." Akane triumphantly responds on their behalf, shouting, "Yeah, morning." He screams out that her boobs literally just talked. Their friends walk ahead grinning and noting that they still have plenty of time before school starts. Akane stops Aoi, telling him there is one more thing. Aoi looks confused and asks what it is. Aoi looks at her with a deadpan expression and points out that she didn't actually wake up on her own. Akane just smiles cheerfully and thanks him for waking her up anyway. She then gives him a thumbs up and tells him that she is counting on him to do it again tomorrow. Aoi immediately shuts that down, stating flatly that he refuses. Akane leans in close, looking him right in the eyes, and tells him that he really is hopeless. Then she leans in even closer and kisses him right on the cheek. Akane flashes a peace sign and playfully asks him if this is okay. Aoi is confused and asks what she means by okay. She then excitedly suggests they do it one more time. Actually, she changes her mind and says they should do it 3 times. Aoi panics and yells that it's not about the number of times. She screams that she will do anything he wants. He tells her to just wake up in the morning. We cut to their friends watching the whole scene unfold. Mikan blushes and says it's so great, while Hayato sweats and comments on how the way those two handle personal space is seriously intense. Later on, the two are alone in a room. Akane is standing on the window and groaning. Aoi asks her what's wrong and wonders where her usual energy has gone. Akane lifts up her shirt to show him her belly. Akane starts to say that her stomach is. Aoi touches it and asks if it hurts. She suddenly yells that she is hungry. Aoi snaps back, calling her an idiot and telling her to just endure it since it's already dinner time. She says that even though she doesn't feel her stomach moving, it's making noises, and she wonders if she is hallucinating sounds because she's so hungry. But then a loud growl echoes through the room. Aoi admits that the sound actually came from his stomach while looking like a corpse. Aoi asks if she is starving too. Suddenly, Akane produces a bottle of honey out of nowhere with a ding-ding. She pours the honey onto her hand and suggests they lick it to stave off the hunger. Aoi is baffled and asks where on earth she pulled that bottle from. Akane slurps the honey, blushing and exclaiming that it's so sweet. Aoi watches her and asks if she is that famous yellow bear. She offers her hand to Aoi, telling him to have a lick too. He asks if she could go get a spoon. Akane ignores the request for a spoon, saying that it would just increase the amount of dishes to wash. He licks the honey directly off her hand, mumbling that he'll wash it himself. But things immediately go wrong. Akane cries out in panic because the honey bottle slips and spills right onto her chest. Akane tries to stick her tongue out to get it herself, complaining that she can't reach it. She looks at the mess and tells Aoi that it can't be helped shamelessly, asking him to lick it off for her. Aoi immediately rejects that idea and tells her to just wipe it with a tissue. She then tries to justify her request by yelling that this honey costs 1,200 yen for a small bottle, so wiping it up would be a huge waste of money. Suddenly, gravity takes over and the honey drips down from her onto Awa's face. He freaks out, shouting that it spilled on him too. But before he can do anything, Akane dives in without a second of hesitation and starts aggressively licking it off his face. She continues licking all around his ear and neck. Aoi complains that it tickles, but she ignores him and keeps making loud, slurping noises. After she finishes, Aoi touches his cheek and asks, "What is it?" She smiles brightly and declares that the honey tastes way better when licked off Aoi than it does off her own finger. Aoi immediately snaps back, shouting that there is no way that is true.